Hello and welcome once again. Not once again. This is new. So I let's see. Sorry. Great start I'm off to here, huh? Hello. Welcome to my new thing that I do. I don't know what you call this. My name is Pat Luther. I'm a science fiction and fantasy author. If you've been watching my channel, you've seen me play games. I started with Dragon Age and then went to The Last of Us, which I'm still doing. Yeah, so I'm still going through that game. I have not abandoned that, but I am also adding this new feature where I am reading first pages from people's manuscripts. So if you have a manuscript and you'd like to submit it, feel free. But let's go ahead and, since it's already on the screen here, I'll go ahead and start with the first one. I'm going to read this and then I'm going to go through and give the feedback based on notes I took last time I read it. So, yeah, without further ado, here we go. And I want to thank, before starting, thank you, Syntell Smith, for volunteering to be the very first person whose manuscript I read like this. So, yeah, that's brave, especially considering how smooth this is going so far. But thank you very much for doing this and for submitting your manuscript. And this is Call Numbers, The Not So Quiet Life of Librarians by Syntell Smith. It is an already published work, and the notes will be, or the links to it will be in the notes. So if you want more information, I'll give you his information. His contact, his social media and website will be in the description for this video on YouTube. So here we go. I'll start off by reading it. So, I tell you, Frank, Robin Walker said, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. Frank's Pizza, located east of 23rd in Lexington, was the favorite place for the students attending Baruch College to spend $1.25 for a slice. The place was small and only occasionally crowded. It was the Tuesday after President's Day, and there was a clock overhead that said 11 in the morning. Excuse me. Robin was reading a copy of the Daily News while nibbling on a slice of plain cheese pizza. He hated pizza toppings. Why mess with perfection by putting something on top of something? Was his favorite explanation for his preference. He had finished his morning classes and was not due at the 58th Street branch library for another 3 hours. Frank noticed the student was feeling very opinionated this morning. I mean, it's 1994. We got 6 more years till the new millennium, and God only knows if we're ready. We got terrorists trying to blow up the World Trade Center, shootings on the train out in Long Island, and the first and only black mayor of New York City getting the boot after 1 term. Robin looked up and nodded toward the flower-faced Italian behind the register. You voted for Giuliani, didn't you, Frank? He asked. And there you go. That is our first page, and that's our first page. So, yeah, once again, thank you, Syntell Smith, for this. So let's talk about this. Okay. So it's first page, so of course it's, setting up the story and just beginning it. The world building, so right from the beginning, Frank's Pizza gives us a location, a price of the pizza, and the name of a college. So that pretty much sets it right away in our modern world, right? This is late 20th, early 21st century America, we can tell. $1.25 a slice. It's a really good price right now. It's not unheard of. So we do later learn this is in 1994, a couple paragraphs later. So that puts it even more specific. And so in 94, that was a pretty common price for a slice of pizza. You can still find it sometimes in some places there. Let's see here. I hadn't heard of Baruch College before, but it is a real place. It's in New York City, of course, where this thing is set. So we got that. So we got the world building right at the beginning, firmly established right where we are, right? Even in the first paragraph. So let's talk about Robin. Our main character here, Robin, who mostly, this is from his point of view. It does briefly jump into Frank's head for like 1 sentence and then back to Robin, which is, yeah, an interesting choice. Generally, I like to avoid doing that. I'd like to stick with one character while I'm, writing anything. One character at a time. I mean, I'll have multiple points of view sometimes in a book. and there's different opinions on that kind of thing. So a lot of people will do the head hopping everywhere. You have the omniscient narrator who just knows everything. You have the close narrator. It's just a matter of preference. But for this part, this is like 90% from the point of view of Robin. So let's see, what was I going to say about him? Oh, yeah. So, okay. He's got opinions, he has views on pizza toppings. He mentions, he only likes the cheese pizza. Why put something on it? Which is, so he not only has a preference for pizza, but it's important enough that he doesn't have just an explanation even, but his favorite explanation, right there. This is his favorite explanation for his preference. So is that maybe a mark of insecurity on his point, that he feels the need to have an explanation? Or do people actually ask him that? Why don't you put toppings on your pizza? Yeah, so that could be going either way. So this is either a comment about him or his friends, but it's there, right? This is something we learned about his character. He's very opinionated. He likes to pontificate on his opinions. He has a favorite topping. Later, this whole paragraph, well, he starts off with the world's going to hell in a handbasket, which is a fairly cliche thing to say for him, or for anybody, but so he's using this cliche. And then he's also giving this long list of things, which I love this part. So let's talk about the world building there for a second again. It's 1994. We got, okay, so, but sorry, I'm going back and forth. Finish up with Frank a bit. Robin. So Robin's very opinionated. Frank apparently is the owner of Frank's Pizza. And so here's Robin talking to Frank, and he's going on this diatribe about the world today. So that gives us a very clear indication of what kind of person Robin is, right? He's got opinions, they're very strong. He doesn't mind spouting them off for a captive audience. So maybe this is just because he doesn't have a lot of friends who will tolerate him going on like this. Or maybe it's just this is where he is, so this is where he's talking about him. And I'm guessing he has very strong opinions on just about any topic. And, you got to say these things to the pizza guy because social media hasn't been invented yet. It's back in 1994. Social media doesn't really make its presence till the 21st century. So here we are. Okay, what have we got? Wrong. No, 94. Okay, so this list is great because it shows us, one, that Frank's very opinionated. Two, what kinds of things are important to Robin. Sorry, I keep saying Frank, I mean Robin. And three, we get a bit about the world itself, which is the real world, but it's a reminder of history, because this is 30 years ago. We got terrorists trying to blow up the World Trade Center, shootings on a train, and the first and only black mayor of New York City getting the boot after one term, which I did not realize that was true. So that was, yeah, this is some big... So these are the kinds of things that are important to Robin, and I like that because it combines the world building and the character building together into one sentence, which is very a great way of doing that, right? So it gives us these lists, it tells us what's happening in the world, it reminds us where we are in 94, it reminds us where, I'm not sure what the shootings on the train were. I don't know if that was Bernie Getz or if that was a different one. I can't remember exactly when that was. I was in West Coast on the time. So I remember the terrorists on the first attack in the World Trade Center, which was somewhat less successful. First and only black mayor of New York City, who only lasted one term. And Giuliani pops in there, which I guess was, so this is when he was just about to become mayor. Let's see. So let's talk about our Italian. Oh yeah, our main character. Sorry. The other thing about Robin, so there's a few things. So he mentioned a lot of these. Oh yeah, so Robin is a student. I think we got that, right? He had finished his morning classes, not do it at the library for another 3 hours. So he's a student. Maybe he works at the library. That's my guess, because otherwise, why would he have to be there at a specific point in time? Let's see. Yeah, there's the one sentence jumping into Frank's head for a second, and then right back out of it into Robin. So Robin looked up at. Oh yeah, here's the other thing. So first and only Black Mayor. So he mentions the Black Mayor. He mentions he calls Frank a flower-faced Italian, which is an interesting one. I guess that's pointing out that he's white. That Frank is white. Flower-faced is not a term I've heard before for a white guy, but that does make sense. Which I'm guessing Robin may be a black man. We'll probably find out later if he is. So that's a bit more we know about him. And then you voted for Giuliani, didn't you, Frank? He asked. So 3 things in a row. And this is, I'm not sure how the New Yorkers thought of Giuliani at this time period. So on the West Coast, if he was known at all, it was as the guy who took on the mob, and later the big hero of 9/11, and then later, of course, as the melted down crazy guy. But at this time, yeah, they may have known what a big racist Giuliani was. So that could have been another sticking point. So I'm guessing that racial tensions are going to play a part in this story. They may be coming up, maybe a theme. So we'll find out. It's still too early to tell. So let's see, what else do we want about Frank, or about Robin? What does he want? Where's the story going from here? I don't know. So we really don't know what the story's about yet. Got some hints about it. We got some hints about Frank, or I keep saying Frank. We got some hints about Robin. Let's see, but we don't know for sure, and all of my guesses could be wrong. I don't even know what genre this is. I'm assuming it's set in contemporary times. Then it's not, they don't go from here to the asteroid belt or something. But I don't know. I haven't read it. I haven't read the blurb. I don't know anything about the story other than this first page. But there is more information in the links below. Let's see. What else? Okay, so it does show that he is politically aware because he lists all these things. He's actually, that Robin actually thinks about what's going on, how things are connected. Which is why I love that sentence of this paragraph so much, is because it just does so many things all together in the one sentence. It sets up this conflict between Frank and Robin. It sets up what's important to Robin. It sets up the time period. It sets up not only what's important to him, but what kinds of things he's aware of, the fact that he is politically aware, and that politics are important to him as well. And I think that's, So that's great. So for a first page, it does kind of what's expected. It draws you into the story. It tells you where the world is. It gives you a great indication of the main character. It's too early to decide whether I like the main character or not. I don't know. But I can tell, something about him. And where the story's going, we don't know yet. We'll have to read a second page to find that out. Or the blurb. But yeah, great start. So really, that's all I have to say about this. So this is the first page critique, and this is my first one of these. So sorry if it's a little rough, but thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, if you want to see more of these, like and subscribe. If you want to submit one yourself, I would be glad to read it and give you feedback what I think about it. It can be a published work or an unpublished work, something in progress, first draft even, I don't care. It's all great. Next week is going to be half of a flash fiction one. So we'll see that then. And thanks. I'll put a link in the comments also, or in the description, to where the form is to submit if you want to submit your own. Thank you again to Syntell Smith. And I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name correctly, because that'd be embarrassing if I'm not. If I'm not, please correct me, and I'll, well, it's too late because I already recorded it, but I can at least put in a correction. And thank you very much, and goodbye.